What's up, random projects? I think by now everybody knows most of my random projects are car related. I'm working on a Honda Pilot 2007. I was having an issue where every time I put get on the gas, especially at low RPM, low gear, I would feel this kind of like tumbling coming from the engine. So I thought I had maybe some kind of problem with one of the motor mounts, but I know I did the motor mounts on this a while ago, and that shouldn't be a problem with that. So then I thought it was the transmission. Transmission just got replaced in August of 22. No, October of 22, and we're in January of 23. So I started looking around just to see what was going on. I got a P0430 code, efficiency or below efficiency below threshold, and bank 2, which is the front bank. So I started doing some testing on the O2 sensors and ended up coming with nothing there. Everything checked out. Then I went and took this. Oh, there goes my impact wrench. So I took the spark plugs from the bank 2 just to see if I had any issues there. I ended up getting cylinder number 5 was completely soaked in oil, and then I found out I had a torn spark plug tube seal, which you can see right here. So this is torn, and it was letting the oil in there, and the coil itself is not looking too well. The boot up here is all messed up. So I went ahead and bought me some new coils and spark plugs and a new valve cover gasket. Got all this stuff from online on eBay and Amazon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and replace the valve cover gasket, make sure everything is clean in here, and then I'll put new spark plugs. I did the timing chain on this once, and I guess it was too cheap to snap on me, and luckily didn't bend any valves. So then I put a new timing chain on it, and this is going strong, man. I'm at 263,000 miles on this, and it's running like a champ. So also what I'm doing is checking my valves, making sure that my valve clearances are where they need to be. According to what I saw online, the intake valves are supposed to be at between 8 and 9. So 0, you can't see my feeler gauge here, but 0.8 and 0.9. So your 0.10 should not fit in there, and then your exhausts are supposed to be between 11 and 13. So what you do is you get your feeler gauge in here. So the intake side is the closer to the intake, and exhaust side, the one closer to the cat converter, if you will. So front side of the car is exhaust. Outside of the car, inside of the car, or towards the middle of the engine bay, is your intake. So you go ahead and try it. You should get some drag in here. I'm actually working on cylinder number 6 right now. So right here, this is my 9009. So you can see I can get in there, and then there's drag, and then if I try to get a 10, my .010, I can't jam it in there. So all of these up here, you want that going on. So you want your 0.9. If you want it at the highest point, it's your 0.9. Lowest one is 0.8. And then the front, you do the same thing. It's a little bit of tight space here, but you get your 12, your 12 or 13. So your 13 should go in there. Like I said, just make sure it's flat so you can bend your feeler gauge, so when you get in there, you can you're not all straight, so you don't get a false read on when you're actually getting the drag you want. So make sure you get a nice little bend. I don't know if you can see it on here, but my gauge is kind of bent, so when I get in there, I'm actually getting a flat surface in between the valve the valve stem and this set screw. There's a lot of videos out there how to get this off. This is not that hard. I took my filter off, and then there's 4 bolts here, so 2 nuts at the top, 2 bolts at the bottom. They're 12s. They're up here, 12s. Just make sure everything is where it needs to be. I'm actually gonna go ahead and clean this. This is pretty nasty looking. My throttle body. There's a couple hoses and connectors you got to get out of the way. I haven't done a valve adjustment before on a car, but I've done it on motorcycles, and it's the same format or the same idea. I don't know how I'm gonna get it done back there because it's tight and it's on a bad angle, but I'm gonna give it a shot. And then what you need to do is whatever piston that you're adjusting, you want to make sure that you're at top dead center. So in order to do that, you need to come down here to the crank, and like I got it set up here. I got my my 19 in there, and then I'm cranking away, and then I actually have 2 methods to verify that I'm at top dead center. I got an extension stuck in there, so I can see that my piston is at the highest point when I'm turning, and I'm also looking in here. I don't know if you can see, but this is my my cam cover, so there's numbers in there. It's also kind of hard to look, but there's a little gap in there. You can see that gap, and they got numbers in there. This one, it's hard to see, but you can hardly see. There's a 6 right there, so I'm working on cylinder number 6. So as you spin it, when you get number 1, you work on cylinder 1, which is in the back, so whatever you get. But I started at the front because it was the easiest one, so I started with number 4, and then I went to 5, and then I went to 6. So when I'm done with this, and I'm gonna clean this up, make sure everything is nice, and replace my gasket and the grommets and all that. And then when I get done with this, I'm gonna move to the back, and I'm gonna be working with that cam cover, which is a little tougher to see. But again, if you're using this method where you get a screwdriver or something you can stick in there, once it's gonna go down, and then when it comes up to compression stroke, you can see that whatever you jam in there is gonna come up high, and then that's how you know you're at the top, and then you can work with that cylinder and valve section. So I hope this helps. 2007 Honda Pilot. It's not that hard to get this done. You just gotta make sure you save all your bolts, put them in a place where you can see. I got the plenum gasket up there. I didn't get a new one for that. I'm just cleaning everything up. To get that off, you need to get this guy off first. There's about 10 screws. They're 10s. They're right here, and then two nuts I got over on the car, and then this is what I was talking about. So 2 nuts here, two bolts here for the throttle body, and then there's a gasket that goes around here. I'm just cleaning all this surface. I'm gonna put some gasket maker there, and then you loosen these up. These are 12s, and there's a nut in there and a nut in here, and then reverse the process, man. It's save you a bunch of money having to go, around to shops and get this done with the shops. As soon as you take a valve cover and start talking about valve adjustments, that's going to cost you some money. Just make sure this gasket is good to go so you don't have any leaks. And if you have any questions, write them on the comments. Let me know. If I can help you, I'll help you out. Till the next video.